Did you know that the entire story of the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, can be summarized in just 4 gardens? Each one reveals something powerful about who Jesus is, especially as the gardener of our souls. 4 places where eternity touched earth, where God revealed his heart, and where our story unfolds. And if you pay attention, you'll find your own life hidden in these gardens as well. First, the Garden of Eden, where sin invaded. Second, the Garden of Gethsemane, where sin was conquered. Third, the Garden of the Church, where grace is cultivated. And finally, the eternal Garden of Heaven, where glory is celebrated. Let's walk through them together. Garden 1. Eden, where sin invaded. In the beginning, God planted Eden, a paradise filled with abundance. Adam and Eve had everything: beauty, fellowship with God, and the tree of life in their midst. But it was in that same garden that sin crept in through disobedience. Notice this: temptation came not in scarcity, but in abundance. The devil didn't whisper to them when they were starving, but when they already had more than enough. That teaches us something. Our greatest spiritual danger often comes when we're careless in times of blessing. That's a warning for us. So what's the application? Guard your heart, even in seasons of blessing. Prosperity without watchfulness can lead to destruction. Ask yourself today, am I enjoying God's blessings while neglecting his boundaries? Eden reminds us that sin doesn't always roar in like a lion. It often slithers in quietly, disguised as desire. Garden 2. Gethsemane, where sin was conquered. Now we move to Gethsemane. It's here that Jesus wrestled with the cup of suffering. He prayed with such agony that his sweat became as drops of blood. And what did he say? "Not my will, but thine be done." Where Adam in Eden said, "My will, not yours," Jesus in Garden of Gethsemane reversed the curse by saying, "Thy will, not mine." And here's where it gets real for us. The name Gethsemane means oil press. It's a picture of something suffering, a place of crushing, where your will collides with God's will. Every believer will face a Gethsemane moment, a season of crushing where God asks us to surrender something we hold dear. Maybe it's a dream, a career, a position, a relationship, or control itself. Victory in your Christian life isn't won by clinging tighter, but by opening your hands and saying, "Not my will, but thine." So I'll ask you, what is your Gethsemane? What part of your will still needs to be surrendered in your Gethsemane? What part of your will still needs to bow to God? Garden 3. The Church, where grace is cultivated. The living, breathing community of God's people. And the Apostle Paul helps us see this in 1 Corinthians 3. In the opening verses, Paul says the church is like a family being fed. Then he shifts to another picture, the church as a field, a garden. He writes, "I planted, Apollos watered, but God gave the increase. So then, neither is he that planteth anything, neither he that watereth, but God that giveth the increase. Ye are God's husbandry." Another translation says, "You are God's garden." Think about that. The church isn't just an organization, it's a garden God himself is cultivating. Pastors plant the word, teachers water it, but only God can make it grow. And that gives us 2 applications. Stay planted. A plant uprooted every few weeks never bears fruit. Likewise, a believer hopping from soil to soil won't grow deep roots. Stay faithful where God has planted you. Submit to pruning. Every healthy garden needs trimming. God may cut away habits, pride, or even relationships. Pruning hurts, but it's always purposeful, to make you more fruitful. If God is pruning you, it means he sees fruit in you worth protecting. Lean into fellowship, stay planted in the Word, and let his grace grow in you. Gardens don't flourish overnight, and neither do believers. But stay rooted, and remember this: the church is not a showcase of perfect roses, but a field under cultivation. Weeds will appear, imperfections will be seen, but the gardener is still at work. Don't give up on the garden because you spotted some weeds. Garden 4. Heaven, the eternal garden of glory. And finally, the Bible closes with another garden, heaven itself. Revelation describes it with the river of life, the tree of life yielding fruit every month, and no more curse. This is the eternal garden where God's glory shines forever, where sorrow and death are no more. But here's the truth. Only those who let the gardener plant his life in them now will enjoy that eternal garden later. So what does this mean for us? Live today with heaven in view. Don't get too comfortable in the wilderness between the gardens. Every act of obedience, every sacrifice, every moment of pruning here, will bloom in glory there. Heaven is not just the end of the story, it's the fulfillment of everything the gardener has been growing in us all along. So, 4 gardens tell the story of the Bible and the story of your life. Eden, where sin invaded. Gethsemane, where sin was conquered. The church, where grace is cultivated. And heaven, where glory will be celebrated. The question is, which garden are you standing in right now? And will you let Jesus, the true gardener, tend your soul until the day he walks you into his eternal garden of glory?